Talking Old Forge baseball here, the Mendola Show, the District 2 Single A champs. Coach MMI, tight game, championship. Talk about getting the win and being a district champion.
Yeah, it was just a fabulous, well-played high school baseball game. I mean, both pitchers, really the three pitchers that pitched in the game pounded the strike zone. Defensively, we turned 3 double plays. And it was just a crisp, well-played baseball game. It was a credit to baseball, and not only was it one of those games where it could have gone either way, but you wouldn't have been necessarily really upset had you lost the game. I mean, it was just that well played.
Let's talk about playing in the league this year. Some tough competition in the Lackawanna League this year. Tough year for baseball and a lot of sports with the way the weather worked and things working out, but you get out there and you go get them and see what happens.
Yeah, we first thing is I overschedule a little bit. I do that on purpose. Our league itself is brutal, top to bottom. I mean, Lakeland, Mid-Valley, Dunmore, there's Riverside. There's not an easy game on the schedule there. And then you go out and I pick up, 4A champion Dallas, 5A champion Pittston area, West Scranton, who's 6A. So, we play a very, very tough schedule. And I think the hardest part for us was the fact that we lost so many kids last year. We had 8 seniors that we graduated, 10 total, but 8 who saw some time, 3 of which were 4-year starters. And we had a terrible spring last year weather-wise, so we didn't get a lot of JV games in. There were a lot of very green kids that we had on this team this year, so it took us a while. We made it a point to ensure that we keep our spirits up and to make sure that they knew that this would pay off in the end, once we got to playing teams in our class. And, they bought in, to their credit. Regardless of what happened during the season and how many times we were down in a game, we never quit really, and we were, they're a credit to baseball.
We're going to talk with some of these guys. I talk a little bit about these guys and their ability to just kind of keep fighting after it. There's some losses along the way, but you guys have to think, okay, we could make it to that postseason. It's one game at a time at that point.
Yeah, exactly, and it's really the personality of the team. There's a lot of guys on this team who they compete very well internally, and they just don't let things on the outside bother them. They keep everything kind of compartmentalized. They focus on what they have to do, and they're not so worried about the outside stuff. They're not so worried about, okay, they just got to run. Our mantra is, they get a run, let's keep it there. Let's not let it get to 2, 3, 4 and let it snowball. And by and large, the entire season we did that. We didn't let it snowball. Obviously, the last week of the season, we ran into a kid who no-hit us, who's going to Virginia. We ran into a Riverside team who was extremely hot at that point, and Dallas, who won the 4A district title, like I said. So as it turned out, we were kind of reeling at the end, but again, up until that point, we hadn't had any kind of situation where we were out of a game. We had some games early in the year where I felt we left maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 games on the table where we were a hit away, a pitch away, whatever it might be. So,
let's talk about the defense and the pitching this year that kept you going and now get you into the state playoffs.
Yeah, we don't have a senior there, so we were a little bit worried. We relied heavily last year on Brendan. We relied heavily on that senior leadership for us, and it would come into this year with 2 juniors on the staff, a sophomore, 2 freshmen, and those were our 5 guys that we by and large used. We didn't have any seniors, so there was a bit of a question mark going into the year. But again, game after game, they just went out there and did what we asked them to do. They didn't waver. They pounded the strike zone for the most part, and we gave ourselves a chance late in the game to have some chances to win games.
Coaches often talk about small ball. You tend to hear that more with softball, but in baseball, when you get to the state playoffs, sometimes it could be that 3-2 game or 2-1 game, and so little things you're going to have to do well. It could be some people called upon to bunt or steal or different things like that.
Yeah, we do it all the time. We have to. We're in a situation where we're usually the underdog. We're usually playing a game where one run could make a difference. We're usually playing against somebody who could who could run into one and hit a 2-3 run homer, where we can't do that by and large. So as evidence in the district final, we bunted a kid who hit 7th in our lineup to get to an 8-hitter who's a freshman who wasn't in the starting lineup at the beginning of the year. So it really is a credit to them understanding that when they're called upon to do something, as long as they get it done, they're putting ourselves in position. Doesn't guarantee anything, but it does at least give you a chance, and that's what we ask for.
You're going to play a team called Greenwood. You have a little connection with the school, and tell us your little story about knowing about Greenwood.
I do. My sister-in-law lives 5 minutes from the school. The school's located in Millerstown, Pennsylvania, small rural community. Greenwood itself is much like us. They're a school comprised of one building where you go through elementary, middle school, and high school, just like Old Forge. But number-wise, they're probably a little bit smaller. But my nephew goes to school there, and I'm very familiar. Pass by the school a lot when we go to their house.
It'll be an interesting game against Greenwood. Coach, congratulations on the district championship. Best of luck in the state playoffs.
Thanks, John.
Hayden Jones is with us here on the John Mendola Show from Old Forge. Hayden's senior year, a lot of seniors last year. Talk a little bit about just trying to get your feet wet and be a leader this year after all those guys left.
It's tough, last year we graduated, 9 seniors off the team, 8 starters, I think. It was a really tough position to come into because last year we went from having Brendan Mosleski, Mason Betcher, 2 great leaders, so I really learned a lot from them, especially Brendan Mosleski. Sat me down, taught me everything that I needed to know, taught me how I need to lead the team this year.
Coach said sometimes last year not much of a JV schedule because rain and different things, but talk about as the season went along, when did your confidence start growing? Were you confident from the beginning, or you feel like it grew a little bit?
I always had confidence in us. Struggling with the JV schedule last year. Weather is terrible around here, so didn't get much action. We had a young lineup, but from the beginning, once we started hitting, pitching, everything in the gym, I had confidence with my guys.
Let's talk about you at first base and take us through that infield. Who completes the infield? And talk about what you feel like you do over there at first base.
Yeah, so we have me at first base, Nick Krasinski playing second base, which we had Mario Simone in the last game at second, Michael DeGregorio playing short, and Anthony Marsico at third. I think we have a pretty strong infield. At the PNC, we played really good, lockdown D. It was a 2-1 game, so not a lot on the defensive position. This is my first year at first base. I just got thrown in there last year. I DH'd a little bit, but I think I learned the position pretty quick, and I think I'm doing pretty well this year.
Also play some golf, a game you're pretty serious about?
I'd say so. I started my sophomore year. My buddy dragged me out to the range. I took a couple swings, and I feel like I got the feeling to want to learn how to do better every day. I was out there grinding at the range, just trying to get better, and I think I really learned a lot.
Got an older sister, Janelle. Tell us a little bit about her.
She just graduated from Temple also with a marketing degree. She's out in Rome right now celebrating her graduation. She's coming back this week, so she's having the time of her life.
That sounds pretty cool. You enjoy science in the classroom, doing very well there. You're going to go to Temple University and study business. Tell us why you chose Temple and why you want to study business.
I moved my sister in her freshman year. I went down, visited the campus, and I instantly fell in love. I thought it's an awesome campus right in the middle of the city. A lot of diversity, a lot of different kids there, a lot of different majors and everything. I knew a bunch of kids that wanted to go down there, so I just applied there, got accepted, and I instantly wanted to go there. It was my only school that I applied to, and once I got accepted, I committed.
Let's talk about your role model, your dad, and relationship with him.
My dad's a hard worker. Ever since I was young, he owned a business, H.K. Jones and Son Tile and Marble. Every day he's been working. Barely gets any days off. When he's not working normal shifts, he's doing side jobs for his friends, always doing whatever he could do to help anybody. And I think it really, it's a factor when I came to playing sports at Old Forge. It helps me work hard to do better.
All right, Hayden. Well, you're doing a great job with your team, and we wish you well throughout the state playoffs. Good luck in the first game.
Thank you, John.
Anthony Marsico here on the John Mendola Show. He is a junior, plays third base and pitches. So, Anthony, talk about playing the corner over there, and when you're not doing that, when you're able to get on that mound and pitch. Well,
I always played third base my whole life, and I really enjoy it. I think that's probably my favorite position. And when I'm on the mound, I just like to have fun, try to throw strikes, get people out.
Let's talk about some of the other pitchers you have at Old Forge this year and what they bring to the mound.
Well, we have Cooper Grahowski, and he's basically our number one guy. Everyone's really improved over the season, but he's our guy that we run with. And we have Sean Donovan. He throws pretty good. Has a nice slider. Usually gets some people on. Myself, go in, try to relief a little bit. I have a good curveball.
All right, that's what we like to hear. How about the defense behind you? We haven't talked much about the outfielder, so who's playing in the outfield for you guys?
Matt Smith, which is a junior. this is his first year starting, almost like everyone else. He's pretty good. Nate Kerninsky in center field. He's a freshman, probably one of our probably the best outfielder we have. And in right field, we either have Cooper or Julian, which is usually pretty solid out there.
You got a sister, Gianna, who's 19. Talk about what she's doing right now.
She goes to King's College, plays softball there.
That's pretty cool. I have a couple baseball, softball players in the family. You enjoy math, and again, you're just a junior, but you're thinking college down the road, and are you thinking maybe a local school, or would you like to get away if you head that way?
I'm thinking more of like a local school, maybe go to a trade school, do a trade.
Awesome, very good. And as far as your parents as role models, talk about your relationship with them and what they try to do for you.
Well, they're always there for me, always trying to help me out, pay for something if I need it, bring me around, get me into the game.
How about hanging out with your friends here at Old Forge? You would know no different, being a student at Old Forge is probably a lot of fun. Yeah, you get to know these guys and develop relationships. What's it like being a baseball player and having a good bond?
Well, the school's small, so you pretty much know everyone, and when you're winning and doing good, everyone comes up to you and congratulates you.
All right, Anthony, we wish you the best of luck next year when you start to make those decisions at a local school, maybe get into a trade, and thanks for telling us your story. Cooper Grahowski with us here on the John Mendola Show. He is a junior. And Cooper, I see that you play the outfield, but you also pitch. So let's first talk about when you pitch, what kind of stuff do you have? You got a nice fastball?
Yeah, I have a nice fastball. I try putting it where I can put it.
Of course, you got to have a good relationship with your catcher. Talk about who your catcher is this year.
Sean Donovan. He's a good catcher. He keeps everything in front, tries to throw them out if they steal.
Take us through the outfield. I know you play some right field sometimes. How about some of your teammates out there? A nice group of guys?
I got Matt Smith playing left. I got Nate Kerninsky. They do good in their spots. I do my part in my spots. I have to back everything up at first.
Gotcha. So that's a tough job. You have a brother Ben and a brother Eric. Eric's 22, Ben's 20, and those guys doing all right?
Yeah, he's a graduate. Ben, he's still in college. He plays for the U.
All right, pretty darn cool. You really like art in school, so talk about why you like it and who your teacher is.
Miss Guida is my art teacher. Whenever I'm bored doing nothing, I just draw sometimes.
You have some talent there?
Yeah.
All right, pretty cool. Down the road, you like to get into college and do some stuff there. Let's talk about your parents as your role models. Why do you look up to them, and what do they do for you?
They do everything for me. They would help me out if I needed help.
How about Coach DiMatteo? Talk about what kind of coach he is. Always talk to him, always a great guy, but what's he like being your coach?
He helps me, tries to figure out where I'm at, gets the other coaches involved. Coach Gary DiMatteo, his brother, and Coach Kyle. I work with Coach Kyle, and we do a lot. That's where I'm at with him. He's got me up to this part.
Well, you're doing a great job, you and your teammates, so keep it going, and great to catch up with you, Cooper. Sean Donovan is with us here in the John Mendola Show from Old Forge. A couple positions, catcher, pitcher, third base, do a little bit of everything. Talk first about being a catcher and some of the challenges as a catcher.
It's difficult, like you got to get down and block a ball. You're also dealing with 4 or 5 other different pitchers, like what they throw and stuff like that.
Talk about trying to keep your pitchers in the game. What do you do for that?
Just be able to frame every pitch, get them strikes that maybe other catchers wouldn't be able to.
As far as basketball and other sport you play, how much do you enjoy that?
I love it. It's just another thing that I like to do and play with my friends.
2 brothers, Robert and Patrick, older brothers, so tell us about both of them.
Patrick, he graduated last year. He was on the team, and he's currently at Keystone. And then my other brother, Robert, he graduated college a few years ago. He's currently working.
Talk about growing up and playing baseball, maybe getting a little practice in with your brothers and what you learned about the game.
Yeah, just playing outside every day and with our neighbors and stuff like that. It kind of got me competitive and just had fun.
do well in the classroom. You really enjoy history. What's it like being a student athlete at Old Forge?
It's difficult, but you know, we have great teachers and a great school, and do well.
Let's talk about your parents, your relationship with them, and why they're your role models.
Yeah, just doing everything when we were younger, just taking me to practices and games and stuff like that. They've always been there for me.
Let's talk about the relationship with your coaching staff here at Old Forge.
Great. We have great coaches. They teach us a lot, and they make it fun to go to practice every day.
How about what you're looking forward to here at the state playoffs? Winning a district championship feels good, but now it's a whole other ball game. You're going to take on Greenwood. Do you know much about the team, or it's just like, let's go out and give it our best shot?
Yeah, we're just going to give it our best shot. It's going to be fun, traveling far, and see what we can do.
All right, Sean, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best.
Thank you.